Hello, friends. I hope you're enjoying this delightfully rainy day today. We've been cooped up inside most of the day because it seems like every time we go outside, it starts to rain again. We have done a lot of projects inside, a lot of school stuff. Hannah's been working on a really cool story about the super exciting life of the Highlands in quarantine out in our backyard, which maybe we can share with you when we create it. We'll see how that goes. She's going to work on some voiceovers maybe later today. I've been doing a lot of reading and a lot of conversations in the past couple days with clergy colleagues and some of our larger groups, the Wisconsin Council of Churches, the U.C.C., the Wisconsin Conference of the U.C.C., and things like this, talking about, so what does this shelter-in-place order mean long-term for us if we're in lockdown till May? And in talking with my colleagues and a lot of my friends and family back in Chicago, they had their order extended until the end of May as well, because Chicago is finding pockets of folks that are infected that they didn't even know who had it yet. So it's not a good news thing, per se, that we don't get to worship together and see each other for a while yet, but it makes me very aware that part of how we love our neighbors and do the work that we have been called to by Christ is to make sure that we take care, as the Old Testament says, the widow, the orphan, and the stranger in our midst. In other words, who are the most vulnerable people we can take care of, and we make sure that we do what's best for them. And part of doing something in this case is doing nothing. It's staying home, and it's doing the pieces you need to do there. I don't know about you, but I love being home this much with my family and spending time with them. It's given me lots of time for all the little projects I say I'm always going to do and never get to. And at the same time, I would like to go to a remote island with millions of people. And those two don't necessarily fit together. I would like to get back to normal. But I recognize that this is not going to be done. Even if we can resume some things going in May, at the end of May, Memorial Day, June, whenever it happens to be, it's not going to go back like flipping a switch back to how it's been. We're going to have to do some serious adjustments and have some tough conversations with consistory and the congregation about how we gather together again. And I don't really like thinking about it, but that's the gig, right? That's part of what we all have to do upcoming. So I've been flipping through my Bible using a method that one of my favorite English teachers growing up, Dr. Dove, said to me. And she said, sometimes you just need serendipity. It's how I picked my master's thesis. I quite literally went into a catalog and flipped and put my finger down to look to see if someone had written on a topic. Took me 4 or 5 flips in serendipity, and I found a topic to write for my master's. So if you ever actually want to talk about how the funeral sermon evolved in Catholic England during the time of Queen Elizabeth to the reign of King James, from Catholic to Protestant funeral sermons, and how the economy worked and how monarchy change happened and things, I'm your guy, barring any practical use for such a topic. But the serendipity method did lead me to something very interesting today that I knew about but often forget about. So I'm going to read you a little piece of writing from the book of Jeremiah. The prophet is writing to the people who are in exile, who are struggling and suffering. Their way of life has been taken away from them, and they just desperately want to get back to normal, to the way things have always been. And he writes, this is him writing on behalf of the people to God. Have you completely rejected Judah? Does your heart loathe Zion? Why have you struck us down that there is no healing for us? We look for peace, but find no good. We look for a time of healing, but there is terror instead. We acknowledge our wickedness, O Lord, the iniquity of our ancestors, for we have sinned against you. Do not spurn us for your name's sake. Do not dishonor your glorious throne. Remember, and do not break your covenant with us. Can any idols of the nations bring rain, or the heavens give showers? Is it not you, O Lord our God? We set our hope on you, for it is you who will do all of this. In this time where we're struggling to figure some things out, and we're trying to figure out what comes next, and we have to do our spinning in place, sheltering in place, and everything like that, I just want to remind you, like it or not, this is out of our control in a lot of ways. And like it or not, there's nothing we can do to make this change right away. But what we can do is make sure we take care of each other and do what's best for all people. I hope in the next few days you are busy and happy and safe. That my little friend on my shoulder, Foolie, there from The Lion Guard on Disney. If you haven't watched that, I've seen the whole series 6 or 7 times since last month. But I hope you can find some pleasure and some joy like I get to do with this little one here, and that in everything you do, you might find that you place your hope in God and not the powers and principalities who take care of us in this world. So my friends, go and be in peace, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Hi.
Hi.